That would
my
be good.
solo to
That
make
would
up
be
for
good.
lost time.
To be completely honest, I have enjoyed a lot your album. I wasn't expecting to have something, as you mentioned, something new, totally brand new, which can be merged into those classical level of music, like for example Pink Floyd or Genesis. For people that are looking for new experiences in this kind of music, I would say that this is a good opportunity. This is even I would say that symbolic when David Gilmour is saying that Pink Floyd is dying, and people that might like progressive or even rock may think that they will not have more experiences like they did with Genesis, Pink Floyd, Hackett, or even with the recent artists like Porcupine Tree or I would say that this is the new generation, as you have mentioned. This is a new, brand new experience, brand new project. So tell me, why someone has to listen New World? Why would you recommend, if you were not Dave Kerzner, why would you recommend this new album? Like for all that the people that we are very enthusiastic with new music.
Well, I think that first of all, I mean, it's a subjective thing, so it's a matter of taste. Listen to it and see if you like it. That's the first thing. Everybody's got different taste, but I think, from my perspective, I would say, it would be very pretentious of me to come out there and say, Pink Floyd's dead and I'm here to take their place. It's like, come on. But I mean, they're the masters, but I take great care in carrying forward what I like about those styles. I'm not shy about showing my influences. Not trying to prove a point of originality. I think every artist, you can pinpoint where their influences are, even the Beatles. And of course, Pink Floyd was influenced by the Beatles, and the Beatles, all you have to do is look at Arnold Lane, the video, and go, well, the Beatles. And so, but these, it all needs to just keep moving forward. The difference is, hopefully, recognized, like as you did, and it really makes me happy to hear that, is my goal is to strive to reach for the qualities, the real quality that I like in that music. Not just, me too, I want to do, cause I've seen a lot of albums and bands that sound good, musicianship is good, but it doesn't hit me here or here, like some of the great music, like Shine On You Crazy Diamond, or, a classic Genesis song, or any of the, Yes, Awaken, that moves me. And so my goal is to move people like I've been moved. And I don't stop until I reach that level. So if you compare it to those bands, while they're legends now, and I'm a newcomer, I don't look at it that way. And then when I talk to them, either, we're all just people. Mm-hmm. There's no real legends. That's an illusion. But the art is the art. And if you strive for something that has a certain quality and you care that much like I do, then you're contributing back more. And personally, I see no reason why there can't be new classic albums made.
Right.
It's even easier to do. I mean, people can record in your laptop and your own, you don't need a record label to go into the studio. There's ways to do it. And ironically, my company helps people do that, Sonic Reality and IK Multimedia. So I feel like, well, I'm just contributing to that. And if you like bands like Genesis, Yes, Pink Floyd, the Beatles, Queen, Led Zeppelin, you're going to find all sorts of gems inside an album like this. Whether it's lots of melody, great playing, the drums on this record are fun. They're just like, oh my god. Nick DiVirgilio and Simon Phillips, they're amazing. Francis Dunnery on guitar, I mean, he's incredible. Just like listening to Alan Halsworth or he's just got a style that is entertaining and yet it fits with the song. Steve Hackett, all the players and everybody that I use, I blend them together to make an experience that you're listening to something that, if you like musicianship, you get muso stuff, you get that. But not too much. If you like a song that you can sing and remember, you have that. If you want lyrics that you can read into and think about, there's that depth. But if you don't want to listen to lyrics and you just want to listen to the melody, you have that. So, and then if you like atmosphere and mood and sound effects like Pink Floyd used to do, I do all those things because I love it. And I think maybe that, the fact that there are musicians, not just me, but there are artists like myself who want to continue feeding the big, whatever, collection,
Right.
the record collections. Like, there has to be new stuff. Pink Floyd is dead. I think that's sad, but things don't last forever.
Correct.
But it is up to the next generation of musicians to keep it going and keep giving us new music to listen to.
Right, and I would say that this is great because even for people that are very young, because maybe you are thinking that this is all for people that are beyond the 30s or 40s or 50s. But I would say that even for younger people, this is great because it gives you the opportunity to travel around different scenarios. As you mentioned, you are stranded, you are in the middle of a desert, and then you go to maybe my old friend, and you get nostalgic. You get a little bit of this philosophy of the people that are there, that maybe have that knowledge and are beyond there and are waiting for you. And I can tell you that at least in my personal experience, I could travel. I could travel with your album, and I could travel without any kind of drugs or anything.
Right.
Like I did with albums from Pink Floyd, for example. Like I did with maybe, I would say, not only Dark Side of the Moon, maybe Animals, because Animals, although it's Animals as itself, it gives you the opportunity to taste different flavors. And this is the same thing here. I can tell you that you can hear, for example, those legacy Moog synthesizers here from Keith Emerson.
Right.
And at the same time, in the other song, you are listening something more like a kind of, as you mentioned, the rock band, more heavy, maybe heavy metal in the beginning, and then getting into progressive. So it's totally different. It's a good experience to go to new listeners, I would say.
I think there's also another aspect to this that's very, very modern, very new, fresh, and that is a cinematic approach, more symphonic and like a film score angle to it, which, it's an interesting thing, and certain bands are doing a little bit of that, like Muse, for example, had some of that, and I thought that was really cool. The film score, which is typically a symphony, is influenced by classical music.
Mm-hmm.
And progressive rock was influenced by classical music. So by having a film score aspect of classical music influence in rock, it becomes instantly more recognizable, especially by a younger generation. A younger generation might not be as familiar with Tchaikovsky or Stravinsky and the classical composers, and they might be a little bit sort of intimidated by listening to Brain Salad Surgery from Emerson, Lake and Palmer. It might be too much. It's just like,
Mm-hmm.
But I've tested this approach to this album on younger children, even from ages from like 10 to the teens and stuff, just to see the reaction. And they get an immediate excited reaction to something like Stranded or Redemption at the end, because it sounds like a chase scene from The Matrix or something like that to them.
They relate new things with the music, right?
And it draws them in. And I think one of the most wonderful things about music that stretches into different genres, and that's what I like about progressive rock. I've always liked is because it's very eclectic, and it kind of challenges you, the listener, to listen to something more than just a 4-minute pop song in 4/4 time. It's like, oh, okay, maybe it's an acquired taste.
Mm-hmm.
Peter Gabriel definitely was an acquired taste from Genesis. You're like, at first you're like, this is really weird, and then you're like, you know what? Actually, I like it because it's so different. But what I hope to be able to do with, let's say, younger generations on up to the 30s, 40s, 50s somethings, is, but especially with the younger generations who aren't as familiar with Yes and Genesis and even Pink Floyd potentially, is sort of interest them in more than